Hey guys, it's Alana Terry. How are you today? I hope it's been a fabulous week and that you are safe and well and healthy and that your creative energy is flowing. And I hope that things are going so well for you today. We have exciting news. Melissa Storm and I are going to be co-teaching two different courses starting just on Monday, just a few days from now. I'm going to be kind of spearheading a course on KU marketing. She's going to be spearheading a course on promoting your titles in the wide retail stores, and we're going to be doing quite a bit of cross teaching in each other's classes. So excited. In the description, you will see links so that you can sign up and you can use the code Get It Now, all one word, for 50% off. Again, I hope you join us. I'm really excited. This is going to be live trainings. And again, for both people who are in KU, who are in Wide, we're going to be giving you all kinds of tips for promoting the books where you guys are published. So, what I wanted to talk about today is Wide versus KU and what decision you should make and what questions you can ask yourself to know where you should be. I think that it's both options are totally valid, but I also feel like none of us should go into this decision lightly, and none of us should go into this decision just as a default. I don't think it's a good idea to say, well, this author that I admire is in KU, so I'm going to go into KU. Or this person says that she sells her books in Google Play, so I need to have my books on Google Play. I think that it's a decision that we definitely need to think through. And so what I want to do is I want to spell out some of the benefits of being wide as well as being in KU. And then what I want to do is give you guys questions so that you can ask yourself so that you've made the best decision for you and your career. All right, so let's start with some of the benefits of wide. I love being wide. One of the things that I like about it a lot is that my books can be in libraries. My ebooks are in libraries. I absolutely love supporting local libraries around the world by allowing this to happen. I also like that my books can be in some of the subscription models like Scribd, where readers just pay a 1 month fee and the books are right there. I love giving my readers the option to access things like that, which of course is similar to KU. But I especially love the library side of it. Another real benefit of being wide is there are many countries where Amazon is not the king of ebooks. And if you have a desire to reach out beyond just kind of the markets where Amazon's already got a foothold, I think being wide is a great way to go there. And then another additional benefit you get from doing it that way is you get to be an early adapter. You get to kind of get a foothold into those countries and readerships before the entire world does, right? So there's real benefits to being one of the first in your genre on a certain platform, because then people who are looking for that genre, you're not going to have as crowded of a space as you do on like Amazon.com, for example. Going wide is great because it gives you the freedom to use your books however you want. You can use them as lead magnets, as giveaways. You can sell direct. I've been using Gumroad, Gum Road, to bundle up some of my ebooks and sell those directly as like PDF or EPUB or Mobi downloads. So selling your books direct, I think, is a neat way to go. So lots of cool things about being wide. It also has the benefit of having multiple streams of income so that if something does happen to Amazon, you've got other income coming in from other stores. Let's switch now to KU and some of the real cool benefits of KU. So one really cool thing about KU, similar to what you can do in places like Scribd, but it's very good for the readers because the readers can pay 1 monthly fee for unlimited reading. And I think that people who love literacy and who love books in general and who love reading, I think that a great reason to be in KU is because you want your books to be just very easily available to your readers with hardly any barriers for them to get it other than that small monthly fee. Another thing that you're going to see if your books are in KU, it's great for series, because what happens is if, let's say, you've got books in a series and all your ebooks are $4.99. Now, on all the other platforms, a reader would have to pay $4.99 each time they want to get to the next book in your series. When you're in KU and your whole series is in KU, all that reader has to do is click a download button. So it's very frictionless for the reader. As a kind of rule of thumb, many people will see like anywhere between 30 to 45 or 50% of readers who buy book one in a series will go on to buy book two. I mean, there's tons of factors in that, but that's a decent rule of thumb. Whereas if you look at people who read book one from KU borrows and then go on to borrow book two, I've seen authors' dashboards where it's like 80 or 90% of readers read the entire series. So your series read through is really, really high, which is great. KU also is created, the payout system is created in such a way that it benefits people who have long series, long books, epic books, right? So let's say that you've got this 300,000 word epic fantasy novel. It's going to be hard to sell that for much more than like, $6.99, $9.99 is a high end, even though it's a really, really long book. Whereas if your book's long enough, you'll actually get more royalties from somebody reading each page, because you get basically paid per page that people read. So if you've got a really long book or a really long series, that can be a great way to have your royalties like being used most efficiently, is a good way of saying it. It's also for sure the simplest. You only have to set up your books in one dashboard. You don't have to manage multiple accounts. You don't have to manage multiple tax things at the end of the year. So it's quite simple to put your books in Kindle Unlimited, and then you don't need to worry about what's going on in all the retailers. This makes it really, really easy if you're going to do a sale or you want to change your price. You only have to go in and change that once. Whereas if you're wide, you're going to have to manage multiple dashboards. So those are some of the benefits of wide, some of the benefits of KU. And now what I want to do is give you guys some questions to ask yourself so that you know which is going to be best for you. Because like I said, there's absolute benefits to both, and both are totally viable options. But I think the worst thing that you could do is just pick one or the other, because that's sort of the default. I really do feel like this is a very important decision, like in life equivalency. It's like on part of what college you're going to go to, or if you're going to go to college at all, right? It's a big decision. This isn't just, do I want to go to McDonald's or Burger King? Okay. The other thing to remember though is, even if you pick KU, it's just for 90 days. So it's not like you pick it once and 10 years from now you're still doing that. You can always pivot. But I think that making the initial decision should be done very deliberately. So here are some questions that I think are important to ask yourself. One of them is, how much do you like diving into administrative work? Are you comfortable with multiple dashboards, multiple tax things at the end of the year, things like that? Or do you really want to keep it very, very simple? If you want to keep it very, very simple, then KU is a pretty good option, because like I said, it's just one dashboard, one upload. Whereas if you're wide, it can be like, I think I'm up to, I probably need to publish my books on 6 different places now when I have a new book out. Like, it's a lot to keep track of. Another one is, how international of a mark do you want to make? Is it very important for you to reach people in some of these emerging digital market spaces, or are you just fine sticking with what's here and where the most people are? If you're good sticking with what's here and where the most people are right now, then KU is great. If you really love the idea of being kind of an early adapter into some of these more emerging spaces, then that would be a point in favor of wide. I think another thing that is very important is to look at your genre and see how KU dominant is your genre. And so what I suggest you do is just go to your Amazon bestseller list, so the bestsellers on Amazon in whatever category you're in, and see what percentage of those books are KU. If like over 75% of them are KU, then you're probably in a very KU heavy genre. Now, here's the thing. If you are in a very KU heavy genre, you might decide, okay, I want to be in KU because that's what readers of this genre expect. That's what's working. But here's another thing that you could do. You could say, everybody who writes this genre is in KU, so I want to go wide because not many authors have gone wide yet in my genre, right? So there's two different ways to look at it, and either are valid. Some of this ties into the next question that I think is important to ask yourself, and that is how much risk tolerance do you want to take with your finances? It is slightly risky to have all your books just on Amazon, because then if something happens, if heaven forbid your Amazon account were to get deactivated, or just Amazon changed their payout schedule, or they revised the KU payment terms, which they do regularly, that could leave you in a kind of a pickle, right? So I think that if you're looking real long term, if you're saying, I'm okay going a real slow and steady approach for steady growth, and I'm okay with that, and I'm taking like a 5 to 10 year projection for my books to grow, I think that that attitude is one that lends itself pretty well to going wide, because most people in like this month, if you're a new author and you were to publish your book this month, you're most likely going to make more money if you're in KU because of the page reads and things like that. So if you're looking at this as something that you want to do kind of right now, grow as quickly as possible, I think KU is pretty good for that. And additionally, one of the benefits of KU that I forget if I mentioned, it's that the rankings can favor books in KU, because every time someone buys your book, you get a spike in your rank. But also, every time someone downloads your book in KU, you get a spike in rank. So KU can be a good decision if you want kind of visibility and growth right now, but it carries a tiny bit of risk because your eggs are all in Amazon's basket. When you go wide, it is most likely going to be a little bit slower growth. It takes time to grow in the wide stores, but it also, for real long term, I think is probably going to, in many cases, be a better option for just long term security. So, some of that, you need to ask yourself what your risk aversion is. If you're the kind of person who's like, okay, well, if Amazon changes their payment schedule, I'll figure it out then. Totally fine. If you're like, I've got a mortgage and kids I'm putting through college, and if Amazon changes their payment schedule, we're going to starve, then it's a little scary to have all of that emphasis just on KU. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, but it's definitely a factor to consider. I also think that it's important to ask yourself conscientiously if you're 100% behind Amazon. Some people don't like Amazon for various reasons. And so I don't want anybody to feel like you need to stay in KU even though you don't want to be in KU. That's what I'm saying about, let's go into this decision very deliberately. And if you are in KU, I think that you need to know that you have made that decision for specific reasons, and not just because it's the only way you think it's going to work for you. There are ways to do really well in KU, ways to do really well outside of KU. And I hope that some of these questions have given you a little bit of guidance so that you can come to a good decision for yourself and what's going to work really well for you. So hope that was helpful. Real quick reminder, you can look at the description for links to my course and Melissa's course, and kind of our co-courses on publishing and marketing KU books, as well as marketing and publishing in the wide stores. So whichever option you go, then you'll have a class for you. And many people are actually doing both. They'll put one series in KU and have other series wide. Some people will publish first to Amazon, put it in KU for a term or two, and then put it wide. So it doesn't have to be either or. And like I said earlier, you can always pivot and change. But hopefully this gave you some food for thought. I hope that you are doing well. I would love to hear your comments about why you've chosen KU versus why you've chosen wide. You can let me know there in the comments what you're doing and how it's working for you. Use the Get It Now code, all one word, for 50% off my courses that I'm working on with Melissa. And I hope to see many of you there. I hope you're having a fabulous day. I hope that whether you're in KU or wide, that wherever your books are published, that you are finding readers who absolutely adore what you have to write, and that your books are going out there and making the world a much better place. And we will talk to you soon.